Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. It's a little bit cooler today than it has been. Thank goodness. I'm dying up in my office in here, but that's okay. We're here to play some more music today. Gabby, your camera is off. If I can have you turn that on for us, that would be fantastic. And everybody else has got your cameras on. Fantastic. I'm excited about today. This is part 2 of our class we're doing from last week. We started working with Amazing Grace, and over the last class, which if you haven't seen is on YouTube, you guys can go look it up. Gabby, if you want to, after you're done today, you can go look up our class from last week. It's all on YouTube and you can watch it there. But today we're finishing up the second part. We're adding some left hand to it. And there's a couple of different levels that we're going to be going through. So for those of us who want to, it can be simple, one note, chord harmonies, accompaniment. Doesn't have to be fancy. For those of us who are a little bit farther along in our studies, we can do 1 or 2 note chords. 2 or 3 note chords. And then for those of us who have been doing this for a little while, we're going to up the ante for you too. So we're going to be going through that today. If you have any questions at any given time, if you click the participants button on your screen, you have the option to raise your hand, ask a question. You can also type a question into the chat box and send it to me, and we'll get to that. And then I want you guys to see down here, you have a reactions tab where you can give thumbs up just like that, or applause. You can do either one of those. So that's what we're going to be going through today. Keep your emojis handy. You're going to be needing them. And let's get started, okay? Who remembers, let me see a show of hands. Use your tools on your screen. Let me see a show of hands for who practiced Amazing Grace over the last week. Let's see, Liberty, Khalil. Looks like Kyla's looking for it. I'm sure she practiced it too. Good stuff. So Gabby, we're going to be doing a little bit of a review, but I'm going to go through it maybe a little bit faster than you're comfortable with. Hopefully, you catch on. If you're not quite getting it, that's okay. You can watch the video from last week. It's on YouTube. Well, you can get that. Now, we also have the written sheet music that we're going to be using today. I have that ready to go. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more too. You should have gotten that in an email if you sent a message to Mr. James. So let's get started with today. I have some new equipment that I'm going to be using, hopefully to make everything sound a little bit better and easier to see. So let me switch over to that. Plug that in real quick. I love technology. It's so easy. You just plug it in and off you go. Hopefully it stays that way. Okay, can everybody hear me? Okay, give me a thumbs up if you can. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Can everybody see me okay? Everything good? Yes? Okay, fantastic. Now, this is so great. It's got little icons for each of you guys. I can see all of you at the same time. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be exciting. I'm going to switch my camera around, and we're going to review what we talked about last week. Boom, new camera. Okay, we are going to go to screen share here. I'm going to look at Amazing Grace. Blow that up to full screen. Okay, this is what we covered last week. That's what we covered, the melody there. So we're going to review that real quick. There are 2 primary hand positions that you're going to need to be in. The first one is with your thumb and your index finger on those 2 black keys right there. And then your next 3 fingers will go on the next 3 black keys. So we have a total of 5 black keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in case you've forgotten, there's one more black key that we're going to end up utilizing throughout here, and that's the next one over, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our pinky's going to jump over to the next black key, and that's going to be the other one that we're going to be using today, okay? So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black keys in our library that we're going to be using. And that's what we're going to call them. We're going to give them, instead of letters, we're going to give them all numbers, 1 through 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, Gabby, have you found those? So you should have 2 black keys, 3 black keys right next to it, and then 1 more black key on the top for a total of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, perfect. Those are exactly the ones that we want. Okay. Now, everybody play through with me. I'm going to be calling out the numbers and the letters as we go. I want you to play along. If you want to go a little bit faster, that's totally fine. But for those of us who are new to this, Gabby, I'm going to go slower with you. And I'm going to call out those numbers as we play them. Okay? So you can play the right key. Here it is. Follow along with me. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 6, 5, 6, 5, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 3. All right. Everybody got that? Everybody good to go on that one? Let's see. Good. Look at all of those positive reactions. I love it. It is good stuff. Okay. Now, Gabby, I know that's a little bit fast-paced for you. Again, refer to the other YouTube video for some more practice and some more in-depth kind of stuff going on. Now, we're going to add the next part, the left hand. Now, if you're like me, you're not left-handed. Who's anybody here left-handed? Liberty, no way. Very cool. My dad is left-handed, and I enjoy being right-handed, but I always wanted to be left-handed so I could be like my dad. But I'm not. I'm right-handed. So for a lot of us, the left hand is maybe a skosh more tricky than the other hand. The left hand might be a little bit more difficult than the right hand. Liberty, for you, this should be a piece of cake. This will be good. Now, last week, we kind of hurried through the single note accompaniment. There's only 2 notes in the left hand that we're going to be using to play along here to Amazing Grace. And we're just going to call them 1, which is the first of 3 black keys. And we're going to have a total of 5 here, range of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This time, instead of starting with the 2 black keys, we're going to start with the 3 black keys. So pinky goes on the first of 3 black keys. Then we have 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 total black keys. Everybody got it? Good. Applause, thumbs up. Awesome. You guys are fantastic today. I'm loving it. Okay. Now in the left hand, the only ones you're going to need is note number 1 and note number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the only 2 you'll need. Number 1 and number 4. 1 and 4. Okay. Those are the only 2. So now let's pop over to our page right here because it's helpful for us to see kind of how they line up, how they work with each other. Okay, everybody see what's on the screen? Everybody got the same page as me? Yes, good. Good stuff. I'm gonna move some of you around a little bit. Okay. All right, so now you can see all of the notes that we played and all the numbers for all the parts that we did. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? All of those are written out under the right-hand notes, which is that line across the top. And underneath that, we have our left-hand notes. Now, here's how this works. We have these 2 notes, 1 and 4, in our left hand, 1 and 4. Where the right and the left-hand notes line up together, which would be right here. Can I do that? Oh, no. Well, everybody see where my mouse is? Oh, I can do this. Oh, I love this. This is so much fun. Let's do blue, because I like blue. Like right here. You see those notes where they line up together? They're on the same line. That's where you play them together at the same time. There's another one right there that's all lined up. I'm going to do a little circle. Oh, those beautiful circles. And here's another one. Look at where all of those line up. Wherever you have notes that line up, you play them together. And in this case, for the left ones, you're just going to hold it. So all the way across that first line, it's only 1 note. Note number 1 is the same one all the way through. 1, 1, 1, 1, finally got to 4. And if you're following along, that's right here. So I want you guys to do this with me. I'm going to play through this, and I'm going to go kind of slow. I want you guys to do the right and the left hands together. Now, you'll have to follow along on your piece of music. Hopefully you got it printed out from last week. If you don't, it's up on the screen in front of you, so you can follow along. Everything's right there on the one page, so I don't have to do any scrolling or anything like that. It's all right there. What I'm going to do is, as I play, I'm going to call out the number that you would play in your left hand, because we know the ones for the right hand. So now I'm going to call out the ones for the left hand, okay? Here we go. From the beginning. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 1. Okay. Anybody have any trouble with that? Liberty, no. Khalil, no. Kyla, is that a little tricky? No, it's good. Okay, Gabby, how we doing? Good, everybody's good? Okay. Now, I have some questions for you guys. Sorry about that. I can't make my computer not make noise. And I'm going to ask you guys my questions. And then I'm going to give you guys the chance to respond to that. So let's start with Gabby. I'm going to unmute you, Gabby, and then I have a question for you. So what 2 numbers are we using in our left hand to play this left hand part? There's only 2 numbers. What were they?
3 and 5.
So that's the right hand. That's correct. In our left hand, there were only 2 notes. The first was number 1. The second was number...
Yeah, but I've seen older people like that.
Good. So that's the right hand part. And Gabby didn't get to participate on the class last week, so she's still learning the right hand. And you're doing a fantastic job with that, by the way. You're catching on super fast. In our left hand, we have 2 notes that we're using, number 1 and number 4. Let's see. I'm going to go to Liberty. Yes, I can unmute you. All right, Liberty. So we have the 2 notes in the left hand. Which one do we use the most frequently?
1.
Number 1. And then I think we only have 4 in there, and 2, maybe 3 times at the most. Okay, very good. Kyla, it's your turn. Whoops. Okay, so we've got all of this going on here with our right hand, right? We're playing along. When we play these 2 together, when we finally get to 4 and 6, aren't these the same key on the piano?
Yes.
Yes, they are. And that's why that's primarily why we changed them, because we needed notes that would jive together a little bit better, and those work best for us. Okay. Now, Khalil, you're a little bit ahead of where the rest of us are, because we talked about this in your lesson a little bit. So on a letter basis, what are these 2 letters that we're playing here, that we're alternating between? We know the numbers are 1 and 4. What are the letters that we're using?
So it'd be F sharp and C sharp.
That's correct. We've got F sharp and C sharp going on in our left hand. Okay, so that covers all the notes of the left hand. Let's go back to our page one more time here. We're going to play this. I'm going to play both hands together nice and slow, and I'm going to call out the left hand ones. I want you guys to practice in both hands, right hand and left hand, and keep up with me if you can. If you've totally got it and you're ready, plow on ahead. That's okay. But I'm going to be going a little bit slower so that so everyone else can have sort of a metronome to kind of keep up with. All right, here we go. I'm going to call the left ones. Ready? 1, 1, 1. 1 again. 1, 1. 4. Back to 1. 1 again. Still 1. 1 more time. Then 4. Back to 1 at the end. Oops, my finger slipped off. Okay, let's do that one more time. Nice and slow. 1. 1 again. Still 1. Still on 1. Here we go. We're changing to 4. And then we go back to 1. Still 1s. Here he comes a 4. And back to 1. There we go. All right. Anybody have any trouble? No trouble? Nope, nope, nope. Everybody got it. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. I love it. Fantastic. Okay, now we are going to make this left-hand part a little bit more complex. We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to do anything insane. But what we're going to do is for every time where we play just one note at a time, just one, or I'm sorry, the number one note, we're going to add a second one to play with it, okay? And it's going to be in our left hand. It's going to be number 3, okay? So take a look at your left hand and count with me. There's number 1. We know that one. We play that one a lot. There's number 2. That's not the one we're going to add. There's number 3 right there. So we have sort of the bookends of those 3 black keys. Whenever we play our 1, we're going to play that 3 with it. So take a listen real quick. Here's what that becomes. Instead of this, it becomes this, which is a little bit fuller of a harmony. Take a listen. A little bit nicer to work with. Now, let's all try that for part 1. Just part 1. We're not going to go through the whole song like we did before. Part 1 is up through here. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's all part 1. And every time we play in our left hand, now with our 1, we're going to add 3. Here we go. All right, let's try that again. Let's do it again. All right, we made it through. Any trouble with that? Anybody have any problems? All right, Liberty's got a question. Fantastic. Liberty, what's your question?
Which ones do we do 4 on?
Which ones do we do 4 on? So do you mean for the rest of this song, where do the 4s go?
Mm-hmm.
For more than one note or when it's just 1?
Like, you know, with our left hand.
With our left hand. Okay, let me see if I can answer that in a way that's new that we haven't gone over. So we switch to the 4s here with 6. That's where the 4 is. The first time we get to 6. And the second time we use 4 is right at the end. The second to last note for our left hand is going to line up with this 5. Now, that's where having this page comes in handy. So you can see it and look at the notes and where they go instead of trying to remember, where did they go? Instead, you can kind of follow along on the page. So it's 1s and 1s and 1s forever until we get to 6. That's where 4 comes in the first time. And then it's 1s forever again until the very end. We have this 5 for the last time, and we line it up with our 4 right there. And then 5, 4, 3, ending with 1. Does that answer your question, Liberty? Yes? Okay, fantastic. Now, we are going to pop over into, oh, where did I put it? Let me find it because we're going to add these notes now onto onto our Amazing Grace. We're going to add these notes in. There it is. Okay. So with this one now, instead of just one, we're going to add, whoopsies. There it is. We have two notes being played simultaneously there. See that? Oh, now go away. So many notes. Same with this one. We now have two notes. Same with this one. Every time we have a one now, there's actually two notes. And so on your notation, this is what that looks like. It's two notes stacked up on top of each other. Almost there. There we go. Now we've put all of those in. Now really quickly, before we go on to the next part, because with 4, we're going to have a note that plays with that as well, which we're going to talk about that. We're going to add that in. But before we get there, does anybody have any questions or comments? No, none at all. Okay, now, before we get there, we're going to play through the song all the way through. We're going to use both hands. For all the ones, we're going to use 2 notes, okay? And all the 4s, right now, it's just 4 by itself, okay? Here we go. From the beginning, I'll be a metronome for you guys if you want to keep up with me. If you want to go faster, that's totally fine. Let's begin. There we go. We got through that. Now, let's talk about what we're going to add to this 4, okay? When we have this 4 at the same time. What we're going to do, for right now, we've got 1 and 3. We're going to move up here to 4 and 2 at the same time, right? So with our 1, we've added 3 to it. With our 4, we're going to come back here and add number 1, 2. Those 2 are going to go at the same time, okay? So we're going to have 1 and 3. 2 and 4. Those are going to be our 2. Now here's what that sounds like. Take a listen real quick. It sounds a little bit fuller. Okay, let's give that a try. I want you first to just play it here in this hand. I want you to go back and forth between 1 and 3 and switch to 2 and 4. Now go back to 1 and 3, then 2 and 4, 1 and 3, 2 and 4, and then 1 and 3. One more time. All right, I have some questions for you guys about this. We're going to play it first, though. See how that goes. Okay, here we go. 1 and 3 go together. 2 and 4 go together. Let's begin. 1 and 3. 1 and 3 again. Same ones. Good, let's keep going. Switch to 2 and 4. 1 and 3. Stay with 1 and 3. 2 and 4. Back to 1 and 3. There we go. Any problems, or are we good? Do we need to go over something again? Now, Liberty, you've got brothers, don't you? I see them being in there, being goofy, hanging out. I grew up with a lot of siblings. I had 5 siblings growing up. There were 6 of us kids. It was a handful. So I know what you're going through. I empathize with you. All right, you guys, let's go back to our piece of music now, our sheet music. We're going to add those notes in there. And while we do that, let's see. Gabby, I have a question for you. Let me unmute you. There we go. All right. On this number 4, right there, what other number did we say went with that? Super close. That's almost on. You've got with that 4. We're going to also incorporate our 2. Oops, it doesn't like me. Which would look like this on our page. Just like that. Same with this one. It would go in the same place. That's our 2 and our 4. Now, I'll update these numbers in just a second. But now I want to play this page with you guys while we look at it here. Okay? 1 and 3s go together. 2s and 4s go together. Here we go. You can play with me, or you can play ahead if you're comfortable. Here we go. 1 and 3. All right, we made it. We did the thing. We got all the way through. Let's see. Let's go to Liberty. I'm going to have, now that we've played through that, I want each of you guys to play it the way that you've learned it as best you can, as much as you can. Now, you don't have to do all of it if you're not comfortable. You can do just one hand. You can do both hands. You can do one note, wherever you're at, whatever level. But I'm going to have you guys play through it. And then I'm going to show you where this comes from and what it can be with a few more modifications, okay? Let's see. Liberty, I'm going to unmute you, and I'm going to have you go first. Whenever you're ready. There we go. We made it. Everybody give her a round of applause. That was fantastic. Let's switch that real fast. Okay. Now let's see. Let's go to Kyla. Whatever you're ready for, whatever you're prepared for, you can play for us. Show us what you've got so far. Oh no! Do you want your brother to go first? Should we make him go first? Yeah, all right. Khalil, you are going to go first. All right, very good. Let's give him some hands. That was awesome. Okay, all right. Oops, let's see. Kyla, we're going to go back to you. If you're, you can do just one hand if you want to, both hands, whatever you feel like. Very good. Awesome job. A round of applause for Kyla. Super great. That was fantastic. All right. Now, Gabby, how is your right hand doing? Do you have it down? Kind of so-so. Well, let's hear what you've got up to this point. We start with our 1, 3, 5, 3, 5. Is that about as far as you got? Oh no, there's more. Well, that's pretty good. I don't think that, let's see, you usually play guitar, don't you, Gabby? So like coming to piano and look at how much she's got like on her first shot here. That is fantastic. Everybody give her a round of applause. Well deserved. Very hard work was put into that. And I thought that was fantastic. Now, let me show you guys where this sort of comes from. So we broke it down into a couple of notes in the left hand at a time. This comes from a little farther back than that, taking sort of bigger triads. And a lot of us have talked about triads. Khalil and I have done a lot of improv. Liberty and I were talking about triads chords just the other day. Kyla, I'm sure you've had chords in all your piano books and stuff, like a C chord or a G7 chord. And you have a cat. You brought a cat to the party? Well, that is cool. Hands down, favorite moment right there. That's pretty good. So if we take this and we listen to the original, okay, that doesn't sound too different from what we've got in our beginning. We've got these two notes. Right? Maybe in a different version, it appears different ways. Something like this might be like the complete or the full piano version, but we took all of these chords and we broke them down into their easiest forms to play, so we can work with them there. Kyla, you've got your hand up. Let's go to you. Oops.
Well, me and Khalil have to leave.
You guys have to go. Well, thank you for being here for this much of the class. We're just about wrapping up anyway. You guys did a fantastic job today, and hopefully I'll see you next Tuesday, but I'm sure I'll see you guys. I'll see you, Khalil, at the class, and Kyla. I hope you have fun at yours too. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right, now, for the others of us who are still here, are there any questions? We've covered sort of all the new left-hand notes that we're adding to this. We added some to it. We're going to put those on our page. Any questions to go around? Nope, none at all. Okay, fantastic. We're going to finish up by making sure we make all the necessary modifications to our page of music here. And you guys, I'm going to unmute your microphones because I'm going to have you guys, whoops, press the wrong button. Keep doing that. I'm going to have you guys help me with this here, okay? So let me switch over to that. Okay, Gabby, let's see. With our number 1 in the left hand, do you remember what number went along with that?
I need you to plug.
We said 1, and what was the other?
Hey, he can hear me. You're muted. No, I'm not.
Nobody's muted. Everybody's mics is hot right now. So we had 1, and was it 2 or 3 that went with 1?
2.
It's the other one. It's not 2.
Sorry, I missed the question. My computer's running low.
Oh, no, that's a bummer. I was asking Gabby if we play 1 and 2 together at the same time. Whoops, let me turn my hand back. Or if we play 1 and 3 together. I think it's 1 and 3, don't you, Gabby?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. It's going to be 1 and 3. So we've got to change all of those 1s to 1 and 3. And let's see. Liberty stepped away from me. There she is. Okay. So on our 4 right here, what did we say that we had with our 4? Whoops.
Are you asking me?
I am asking you.
Wait, what?
I'm asking you what number we had with 4 in our left hand. We had 3 with 1. What went with 4?
2.
2. Okay, perfect. Boom. Got that one in there. All right, you guys, let's finish this out. Hopefully, can I just copy this? That would be great. I could just go boom. Whoops. It didn't like that. Oh, no. Didn't like that either. All right, I'm going to punch all of these in by hand, but that's going to take a long time. So I'm going to do that as we wrap up here. Gabby, what's your favorite part of this song? Do you have a favorite part or a favorite section?
I like the end.
You like the end? Is there any particular reason why that you like the end, or is it just that it has note combinations that you really like?
Cheers.
I don't know.
You don't know? Liberty, how about you?
Not really.
Not really? One of my favorite parts, I'm going to have to agree with Gabby on this one, is the end. And for me, it's just because I like things that end really well. Do you ever read a novel and like a storybook, maybe a fiction book, and you get to the end and you just aren't satisfied with the end of the story? You're just kind of like, oh, that could have been so much better. Does that ever happen to you guys?
Yeah.
What's a book recently that's done that to you?
I don't know. There's a lot of books.
There's a lot of books. Well, what's the last book that you read? Like fiction book, like a novel?
Oh, it's something like, I think it was like about a goat that I read yesterday. I'm like, there could have been a better ending.
Yeah. I feel like goat stories could go so many different ways. I used to have some goats growing up, and they are unpredictable. They do all sorts of crazy things. It's kind of funny. They like to, I mean, you guys have probably heard that goats will eat everything. Have you heard that before? That's not entirely true. That's like kind of true. They like to put their mouths on everything because that's how they figure out what it is. And they taste with their lips and their tongue. So they'll just kind of come up and mouth everything just to kind of see what it tastes like, to see if they can figure out what it is. But they don't necessarily eat it. But it usually gets really dirty and like ugh in the process. Liberty, is there a book that you read recently that could have had a better ending?
I don't think so, but I do have a goat story.
A goat story? Let's hear your goat story.
So for my 6 or 7-year-old birthday, my papa got me 3 goats.
Okay.
And you know, the first response is they're cute, they're nice. But after you get used to them, no, they're not. They'll jump up on you, they'll bite you, they'll just try to eat you.
Try to get you.
Yeah, I was terrified of goats after that.
Oh my! Well, that's not good. Most goats are totally nice. We had little pygmy goats, and so they were cute little brown ones. They were the nicest goats. But the reason I like the ending of this is just like the story, that the ending has this nice finish, and it sounds like it's done right. So we go from like. Yes, that's done. I can tell that it's over, it's finished, right? Sometimes songs end kind of like this, right? Let's see. And it just kind of stops right there. And to my ears, it's not quite finished. I mean, that's an okay place, but then it's got to go all the way down. And so the way that this is already written, it happens very naturally. All right, you guys have been fantastic today. We're going to hang out. We're just going to have some fun. We're going to talk a little bit. But that is it for the class today. We went over the right hand, We added left hand, but we added more notes to it. We created some chords. Let's take a look. I'm going to show you this one more time that we went through, right? We've got 1 and 3s being played together. We've got 4 and 2 being played together at the same time. And so this is our updated page. I'm going to save that right there. And then let's see. I'm going to download that right now so that you guys have that available today. You can text or email in to Mr. James, and he will send you the updated file if you ask him for it. Okay? Not a lot has changed. It's the same kind of letters, right? I mean, it's the same letters, it's the same numbers, it's the things that we talked about, but we added some onto the page today. And if you want the updated version, you can have it. All right, you guys, fantastic job today. Liberty, excellent job. Gabby, fantastic work. You amazed me. Is this like one of your first piano classes? You did super, super well. I was very excited about that. Excellent work, everybody. And next week on Tuesday, we're going to continue, we have another piano class. We're going to start a new song. It's a little bit more of a pop culture song. Have you guys ever heard Clocks before? The song Clocks? No? That's what we're starting into next week. Maybe you guys can listen to a little like piano version of it this week. And that's all I've got for you. Excellent job. Yay, everybody. Yay, team. We made it.